Hey everybody, this is Odd Kid, and it has been a while since I made a tutorial. I know it, and I missed you guys, and I missed doing this. Today we're going to do an updated tutorial for Fireballs and for Emerald AI 2024. Just a heads up, this will not work with any previous versions of Emerald. So if you have Emerald 3.0, this will not work. But if you have Emerald 2024, and you want to go ahead and add fireballs that can kill your AI, then this is the right tutorial for you. So to make this simple, I always like to install the input system first, because the it'll cause the computer, it'll cause the Unity to restart otherwise. So what I'm going to do is I installed the input system already. And then I'm going to go ahead and go over to the project settings, and I'm going to go to player, and I'm going to go ahead and tell it I want both, so it goes ahead and restarts. So here we go. Now when we install Platformer Project, it might kick this back over to new, and we just want to go back to both. And the reason we want to do both is just so we don't see any weird warning messages, because Emerald AI uses the old system. So let's go ahead and install our Platformer project. So first we want to go to my assets. I apologize, my internet is a little bit slow. There we go. Make sure it is up to date. So we're going to go ahead and import it now. Tell it to yes, make all the changes it needs. Yep, make all the changes it needs. Now, since we already installed the input manager, hopefully we won't have to restart Unity, but if we do, it's all right. It doesn't take very long. All right, so this is going to show us that this is a complete install. This is a new install. There is no files or settings. So this is just Platformer project so far. There's nothing else in this. Now, hopefully, since we already installed the input manager, it's not going to require me to restart, which it looks like it's not going to, so that's good. All the other requirements that it needs, it's going to install on its own. All right, now that we have that installed, we need to go ahead and install the Emerald AI. There it is, and there's 2024. Make sure it's up to date and go ahead and import it. Tell it to go ahead and install and upgrade, that's fine. Now sometimes this one will switch it to the old system. We'll just have to check before we move forward. Once again, this is completely new install. Because this is Unity 6, some of the code has been depreciated, so this is going to go ahead and fix those scripts. So that means that Emerald AI has not updated their scripts yet. So that means there'll be an update coming soon. Good thing about Lucas is he's always on it. He's always updating, updates all the time. And just a heads up, if you try to open Platformer Project in a previous version before Unity 6, you will get a little error, but that's going to be fixed and probably updated already before you, our Platformer Project will be updated to fix that probably before you even see this video. All right, so now we have our Emerald AI, we have our Platformer Project. And I just want to make sure that the input is still up. See, it switched it to new. So this is going to have to restart. So I'm switching to both. I'm going to go ahead and apply and restart. Okay, so now it's on both. That's mostly for me, but I just won't want to worry about seeing any warnings over here about inputs not matching up because of the two. All right, so now that's being said, we have no red. We still need to install my scripts. So let's go ahead and create a folder. And we're going to call that folder My Scripts. And then we're going to create another folder. And this one is going to be called My Scenes. All right. Because I'm going to go ahead and save the the scenes that we're working on outside of player 2. That way, if player 2 has an update, which I mentioned is going to come, it won't affect my scenes at all. All right, so let's go into my scripts, and then there'll be a GitHub link in the description of this video. And when you click that link, this is the actual GitHub here that you're going to see. And you're going to move all of these files, except for the README here, into your My Scripts folder. So let's go ahead and grab all those, and slide them in. If all goes well, there should not be any red. There's no red here, so we're all good. All right, so now we can go ahead and save. Don't forget to save, always save. All right, so we're going to go to our scene, and then we're going to go down into Player 2, Examples, and then you're going to see the scene examples, and you're going to look for test level scene. That's the one we're going to use for this specific tutorial. So here we are, and there's Lily in the middle there. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to save this scene as a different scene into my scenes here, and I'm going to save this as our Emerald Fireball tutorial. Tutorial. There we go. And it's going to save it into the My Scenes folder. Click Save. There we go. So now you'll see if we go to My Scenes, this is the scene we're working on now. So we're not going to be doing any changes to the original scenes, okay? So we can go ahead and close that down. So the first thing I want to do is I want to unpack Lily. So we're going to come down here into Prefab, and we're going to unpack her. This way we can make changes to her, and it doesn't affect the original Lily. And we're going to create a prefab of her. We don't actually have to do a lot to her for this tutorial. We just need to add a gun barrel for our future gun barrel. All right, so let's go ahead and there we go. And we're just going to, on Lily itself, and then we're going to go ahead and we're going to create an empty, and we're going to call that empty gun barrel. You can call it whatever you want, but you know, for me, it's just easier. Okay, so now that we got gun barrel, we're going to go back to my scripts again. Now on gun barrel, this is where you're going to put the PP Classic Fireball script. Okay, and you notice that there's a couple things we need to fill in here. The first one is that we need our fireball. So because those files that you just downloaded from my GitHub won't have all their scripts connected right away, we need to go ahead and fix that. So let's go ahead and save the scene so we don't break anything. Oh, before I forget, the gun barrel, make sure it is in front of her, hopefully past her hit boxes. Okay. So let's just put it right in front of her, and this estimate here is basically where her hand would be if we did an animation. So let's go into the, let's go ahead and save it again, and then let's go ahead to go to the Fireball. And if you notice, there's some scripts missing, and we're going to fix that really quick, okay? So the first script that's missing is the PP Fireball. So we're going to go ahead and slip that in there, all right? These are special effects that, virtual effects that I had put in here, so we're going to go ahead and get rid of those. We don't need those. You can put your own effects. And then for now, I'm going to turn the mesh back on my sphere. So all there is in this fireball is a sphere, okay? So now that we put the script back in here, you're going to notice there's another script. Oh, this one's right here. Okay, so this is the AI script that comes with Emerald. You don't have to do anything other than add this and tell it how much damage you want to cause, okay? Now for my script, I've added in the ability to break objects. And this is the damage for the breakable objects. The damage that it does to enemies is going to be here. Now this is for platformer project enemies only. This one down here is the damage by collision is for Emerald AI, okay? So there's two separate reasons for these scripts, right? So the first thing we want to do is we want to go ahead and add these missing things. So the parent is just going to be the fireball itself. So the very top here, you're going to put this here. For virtual effects, that is up to you. For right now, we're going to leave it empty. So there's going to be some warnings in here, basically, that that this is missing. But like I said, you can fill it in later. And then damage, we're going to say it's going to do, 10-point damage. Now, time to destroy is how long you want the fireball to exist. So right now it's 1 second and then it'll disappear. But if you want it to bounce around forever, you can just put 0, or you can pick if you want it to shoot farther, you can say 2 seconds or 3 seconds. We're just going to keep it at 1 second right now. Delay explode means that when it hits something, is it going to explode right away, or is it going to be a delay in it? 0 means explode as soon as it hits. Okay. The other thing to make sure is that your colliders, one is a trigger, and the trigger should be slightly bigger than your regular collider, which is going to be used for the Emerald AI. This one right here is going to be used for the platformer project. All right. So you'll see there's some red on here, but this is the old stuff. The stuff we already cleared off, so this is gone. Make sure your autosave is on, or make sure that you save this. This should be ready to go now. So you see here, everything is filled out except for the virtual effects, which we're not using right now. And then down here you have your colliders, your damage AI, and then up here you have a rigid body, okay? So now that your fireball is fixed, you can go to your gun barrel and you can drag your fireball into the PP Classic Fireball script, and then you can take your gun barrel, and basically this is just telling it where to shoot the ball from. Now you see this fireball velocity. This basically is the push, so how fast you want the bullet to go. So right now I'm going to say it's going to go 25, okay? Now since this is a fireball, we want it to bounce, so we're going to have it point downwards a little bit, so we'll say 0.22. So basically it's going to shoot kind of like at 45 degrees toward the ground, right? So now let's just make sure we got everything set up. So we got our lily here, we got our gun barrel, everything's filled in, we got our fireball, and everything is filled in except for the virtual effects. The only last thing you have to check is if you come down here to fireball input, I gave it its own input file so that it doesn't mess with Lily, or with Platformer Project. So if Platformer Project updates, it won't erase your settings. So if you double click on this, it's going to allow you to change your fire button to whatever you want. In my specific case, I'm using an Xbox controller, so I have it set for the D-pad on the Xbox controller. But you can set this for whatever you want, or you can set it up for multiple things. You can add multiple bindings to the fire. But just so you know, this is outside of Platformer Project. So if you update Platformer Project, you're not going to mess anything up, okay? So let's go ahead and go back to our scene. So that was it. You saw me set it up. I set up my gun barrel. I set up the missing scripts into the fireball, and I removed the special effects that I had in there. Okay. So in theory, just using my Xbox controller, I should be able to start shooting fireballs. So let's take a look. There we go. Look at those fireballs go. All right. Now, so you see the warning down here. This is the one I told you about. This is just because there's no virtual effects assigned to that one area. I'll need to fix that in the script to where it'll say if or whatever. But for now, it works fine. It'll break the boxes, and it should kill our little dude over here. There you go. So the ball, it works. Okay. But now we want to add some enemies to this scene, right? Other than the little squishy guy, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to go into the documentation. Okay. So this link is going to be in the description as well. So basically, this is where the scripts are that were already written by Lucas to integrate Emerald AI into Platformer Project. You can go ahead and read this yourself, but what I'm going to do is just you download this script here, and you download this script here. That's all you need. Okay. So once you downloaded those two scripts, you're going to have the Emerald Bridge, and you're going to have the hitbox. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put them in specific places that that the developer Lucas has told us to put them. So first, I'm going to come down here to Entity, which is here. Sorry, I'm going to come down here to Scripts and Entity, and this is where I'm going to put the hitbox. And then I'm going to come down to Player, waiting for it to load. There we go. I'm going to come down to Player, and that's where I'm going to go ahead and put my bridge. Okay, so waiting for it to load the scripts. There we go. There's no errors. So how we set these up are pretty simple. So you go to Lily, and you're going to go ahead and add the bridge. And make sure you notice that there's two bridges, but one of them is with Emerald AI. That's not the one we're using. We're using the one that was written by Lucas for Platformer Project, which is Player Emerald Bridge. Once we add it, you're going to notice it added a few different scripts with it. Okay, so the first script is the position, target position. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come down here and hit F, and then I'm going to make the gizmo just a little bit bigger so we can see it. Oh, forgot to put Lily here. Take Lily and drag Lily right here where it says transform source. Now you see we made the gizmo big. That's so I know where it is. So you can put that wherever you want. If you want to put it in her head or in the middle of her body, that's up to you. But this basically is if you have a ranged weapon AI, this is what they would aim at and hit. The second thing you're going to see is faction. You need to make sure that your player, Lily, is going to be player. And that's all you got to do here, okay? And then down here is if you want to put effects, like if she blinks when she gets hit, or if she spews blood or whatever, and then, you know, whatever effects or sound effects that you might be. You don't have to put anything there. So all we did was add the player emerald bridge, and then it automatically added these 3 scripts. Target position modifier, drag Lily into the transform source, and then go ahead and move this if needed to be where you want her hit location to be. And then faction, the faction extension, you just want to make sure that it's on player, okay? The other thing that I suggest, just because it makes it clear for me, is go ahead and add her to a player tag and then put her on a player level. So that means a layer. So we're going to have to add a layer, player. You don't have to do this. You can use whatever layer you want, but for me, it just makes more sense for me. So I'm going to go ahead and just put her on that layer. So just change the top up. So this way the AI can find her. The second thing we want to do is we want to change all of her hitboxes to the emerald hitbox that we just put in here. So let's just go ahead and remove this. Just remember that how it's set up. So let's go ahead and remove this, and let's add the emerald hitbox, and let's go ahead and put our break object. But the other thing we want to do is maybe make her a little more powerful, since the AI are going to be more powerful. We're going to do the same thing for every one of them, but in this case, remember what's set here: only fall damage and rebound. So let's go ahead and remove this. Only fall damage and rebound. And once again, let's make this 10. All right, and then the last one. This one has breaks object, damage is a little higher, but everything else is the same, right? So let's go ahead and remove this. All right, so we have breaks objects, and then let's make this 10 again. All right, and then everything else is the same. So make sure we save it. File, whoops, file, save. So in theory now, she can actually attack the AI enemy. And just to show you that she's not broken when it comes to the platformer project stuff is, see, everything's still there. And if she comes over here and she spins, boom, she can still kill him. Everything still works. All right. So now our Emerald AI is completely set up, and our fireballs are completely set up. So let's go ahead and add some bad guys, right? So let's come over here to Emerald AI, and we're just going to steal, make sure we save this, by the way. We're just going to steal some bad guys from one of their demos, okay? So let's go to Emerald AI, demo scenes. I'm going to pick melee scene, and I'm just going to grab one of these guys here. And I'm going to go back to my scenes, and I'm just going to paste that dude here. Now, there's a couple things you're going to have to do to make him work correctly. So the first thing, you want to make sure that he's above the ground, right? You can make these icons a bit smaller so you can actually see where his feet are. There you go. So let's just make sure he's above ground. Now the other thing too is he moves by using AI navigation. Now in Unity 6, AI navigation was automatically installed, but if it's not, you can come here, go to Unity registration, and then just download the AI assets, AI navigation. Okay. So let's go back to our scene. So we have our little dude here, but he's not going to be able to move without this AI navigation set up. So we're just going to come here, and we're going to right click, go to AI, and then nav mesh surface. Okay. So this nav mesh surface right now is not showing anything, but as soon as we hit bake, you're going to see that the whole ground turned blue. But did you notice a little problem here? Is everywhere that there's a character, there's a blank spot. Well, we don't want that. So what we're going to do is go ahead and we're going to click on Lily and click on our bad guys, our slime and our sword dude, and we're going to turn them off just temporarily. Then we're going to go nav mesh again. We're going to bake again. There we go, now that the ground is correct. And we're just going to go ahead and turn them back on. Okay, so now our little dude can actually move around the scene because there's a nav mesh on the scene, okay? Just so you know, this is not an error. This is just telling us that it's missing the virtual effects. All right, so in theory, this little dude will not only, we forgot to set him up. Okay, so we're going to need to go to our dude here, and we're going to need to come in here, and we're going to look for a script that says Emerald Detection. Now, he's not going to be able to see us yet because his detection settings are not set up to see us. So we're going to open up Tag Layer Settings, and you see where it says Water? We're going to tell him that he can look anywhere. He can go on any layer, and he can find his enemies. And in the faction settings, you need to make sure that the player is set as the enemy. Okay? So if the player isn't here, then it'll look like this. So you just come around here and you say add and change it to player, and then the player is the enemy. So let's go ahead and file and save. And in theory, he should try to kill us. So let's find out. Let's go see where is he at. There he is. Oh, he doesn't like us. Ouch! Look at that. I forgot to raise Lily's hit point. Let's go here and make Lily a little bit stronger. Let's change her health to 100. So she has a fighting chance, right? File and save. Hit play. All right, let's try this again. Come here, big guy. And ouch! Yeah, that's my turn, right? Let's. Oh, missed him. Let's hit him with a fireball. Bah, bah, bah. Whoops. Boom. See? Boom. There you go. I was just a bad aim. Okay, one thing I noticed. You notice when I walk up to him that I bounce over him? Okay, well, the reason that happens is because Lily, by default, for some reason, the stomp one, the box is already turned on. And if you turn that off, that'll stop that. So let's go ahead and try again. And now when I walk up and walk into him, it won't automatically hurt him. Boom, see? It doesn't actually hurt him now. But if I spin, I can hurt him. If I bounce on his head, I can hurt him. And if I shoot him, whoops, boom, 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 there you go. And those little errors down there, that's not really errors, that's just telling you the virtual effects are missing. And when he died, then now he's dead, all right? And then we come over here and we can still break boxes and we can kill the other bad guys, do all the stuff we need to do, and woohoo, we're ready to go. So there you go. It's as simple as that. You have your gun barrel script, you have your fireball script, and you have your hitbox script, and then you have your player bridge. It only took 4 scripts and drag and drop. You didn't have to do anything special. You didn't have to do any coding. Just a heads up, if you have, if you're using virtual effects like Epic Tunes FX or anything, so a lot of times they have a script on them already. You want to disable that script because this script, the PPProjectile script, is going to handle that for you. So you put all of your, you put your muzzle, you put your fireball and then or bullet, and then you put your explosion here. You just leave the muzzle here. It will automatically go off when the fireball is fired off, and then you just put your bullet or your fireball here, and you put your explosion here, and the script will handle the rest. If you have any questions, let me know in the description. And I know this was a little rough. It's been a while, but I hope this helps you set this up so that you can make the game that you dream of. All right. Thank you very much. Peace. Talk to you soon.